Hi, this is Ingrid at TechCrunch, and I am sitting here at Disrupt in San Francisco with Roderick. Roderick is from Spinn Coffee out in Amsterdam.
Well,
one of my fellow Euros.
We're in San Francisco as well.
Okay, like me. I'm in both places too.
Exactly, yeah.
So tell us what you're doing here at Spinn.
So Spinn is a new way to brew your coffee. We started in Amsterdam where we came up with a patent to brew centrifugal force coffee. And started the business back in November and came to San Francisco for a hardware accelerator called Highway 1 from PCH. And what we're doing, we're building a connected coffee machine that is using centrifugal force to brew a cup of coffee. And with the centrifugal force, we can make all different styles of coffee. So we can make an espresso, but also a drip coffee. So the way it works, this is the spinner. And the spinner is the heart of our machine, basically. So what happens, the fresh grinded beans come into the spinner, the hot water comes in, the machine spins it up, and depending on the choice of coffee that you made, it's making an espresso, it spins really fast, you have a high pressure in the brewing chamber, with a little bit of a thin grind and a little bit of water, you get an espresso. And then when you spin it slow speed, with lots of water and coarse ground, you get a drip filter coffee.
Right. So, is it, when you're doing the espresso spinning, is it similar to how does it on par with the bars of pressure of one of those massive espresso machines at a cafe?
So with centrifugal force, so there are three tiny holes here from 0.04 mu actually, where the pressure buildup happens. So when you spin this spinner like 9,000 to 14,000 RPM, you get a high pressure, G-force. So we can mimic the pressure that you need for an espresso.
Okay.
Consistent feedback from drinkers from our espressos and baristas, top coffee roasters, they all love the taste of the espresso. And I have to say, I'm still convinced when I take another cup of Spinn coffee in the morning, I'm amazed by the quality and the taste of the espresso, and also the drip coffee.
Okay, so what do you do if you live in a house where you've got a person who likes decaf and a person who likes caffeinated? Do you have to literally replace the beans, or do you have two hatches in there, or what?
So we're working on the prototype now, and we're working on the DFM, and we're also thinking about how to offer decaf in your coffee machine. So we're thinking about a little tube that you can put on the hopper, where your special roast will come in.
Right.
And we're also thinking about different hoppers that you can take off, put in the fridge, for example, and put another hopper on.
Yeah, because I know part of the idea, which I don't think you've quite got to just yet, is that you've got a sensor. It's a Wi-Fi connected coffee machine, right?
Correct.
So you've got a sensor in the top part, which is detecting how much coffee you've got left in there, and then it sort of automatically orders from one of your favorite suppliers.
Exactly. So.
And you don't know which one is going to come when.
Yes,
it's
you do know.
It's a little bit like a random playlist.
It is not. No,
okay.
It is not a random playlist. So you put your playlist in iTunes on shuffle.
Right.
Then
it's shuffled of your playlist.
Right. So what we're doing, the machine is Wi-Fi connected, and then there is a marketplace for local coffee roasters, and you browse and search for your local roast.
Great.
So Square Mile, for example, your favorite
Square Mile
roast.
He's saying Square Mile because when we were talking off camera, I was saying how much I love their coffee in London. It's a wonderful coffee place.
It's great. So if they are in the marketplace, you can select them. The machine has built-in sensors, so when your machine is running low, when there's only 10% left, for example, it will automatically order from your bean list, is how we call it. And the bean list is like a playlist for songs, basically, and it's a queue for coffee orders.
Okay.
So the next will be up, and then the order will go out to Square Mile in this example, and Square Mile will send you a new bag of beans that are freshly roasted, on demand, and better tasting coffee, basically.
Okay. So what sort of price are we talking about for something like this? How much are you looking for this?
So we're working on the prototype in the BOM now, but we're going to do a pre-order campaign soon, and we're aiming at a price point of $499.
$499?
$499.
Okay, tell us how that compares to, I know the price of these things, but I just want you to say, how does it comparing to, the AeroPress?
Yeah, well, maybe.
Or the AeroPress, which, just for you coffee people who don't know, what this is. It's a very, very, very primitive, basic kind of, essentially like a little injection system.
It's an AeroPress, yeah. Well, maybe a better comparison will be the Nespresso or the Keurig machine.
Okay.
Because you have to realize that Nespresso and Keurig try to capture you in their hardware form factor.
Yeah.
Where you're depending on those pods for the rest of the lifetime of the machine.
Right.
And the total cost of ownership of one of those Nespresso or Keurig machines is around $3,000 to $4,000 over the lifetime of that machine, because you keep on buying those pods. Those pods are not fresh because the grinds in there are grinded 6 months ago. And basically, I've tasted Keurig here in the States, and maybe you too. I don't know, it's a different taste, let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting because my mother-in-law has this Swiss machine, which is basically a more modeled on just a regular coffee espresso machine. Right. But it also has the beans. I think it even has a sensor, but there are many parts to it. And there's inevitably something needs to be serviced, and they live in France, and it needs to be serviced in Switzerland. It's actually super expensive.
Yeah.
So I quite like how this seems to be doing away with a lot of the extra pieces of infrastructure.
Exactly, so we looked at the marketplace and the coffee industry in general, and there is very low innovation. If you look at what's happening in the coffee industry, the last real innovation was this single serve brewing chamber, 20 years ago invented by a Swiss man. And he builds Nespresso on top of it. So Nespresso tried 3 times to bring it to market, it failed. And then they came up with a high-level marketing with George Clooney involved, where you see him standing on the Como Lake.
I could kill George.
With 6 beautiful women drinking very old coffee, basically.
Yeah.
So that was so Nespresso capitalized on the patent for the brewer, the brewing chamber, for around 12 years. Yeah. And that patent expired now, and it's, the coffee industry is ready for new innovation.
I agree.
And what you see in Y Combinator and Highway 1, that there are coffee ventures and coffee companies coming into those accelerator programs as well, because the coffee market is ready for innovation. Yeah. And we think that with the spinner, we can build a whole new category within the coffee industry, where you have a choice of espresso now and a drip coffee, and in 3 years again, you will walk into your coffee shop and ask for a double spinner latte.
Yeah, let's see.
So the spinner is, is something new.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, Roderick, and here's hoping you give the coffee industry a real jolt.
Exactly. And say no to bad coffee.
Did you see what I did there?
Say no to bad coffee. The real jolt?
Yeah, like a caffeine jolt.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
All right.
Get it? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.